Lucia is a single mom who falls for Chef Sergio, even if she tries to resist it. When it's time to introduce him to her daughter, Leo, she pretends she's dating Santa Claus. Leo writes a letter to Santa about what she wants that year. Lucia panics as she gets ready to go out. Her sister, Pia, has set her up on a blind date. She thinks that's torture for someone like her with social anxiety. Lucia has not been in a serious relationship for almost a decade. She even told her sister once when she was drunk that she wanted to meet someone. Pia thinks Sergio is perfect for Lucia and asks her to go for this one dinner. Lucia is having one of those days when everything is going wrong. She left home late, didn't know what to wear, and her car battery was dead. She assures Sergio she is usually punctual, but he jokes about how well he used the time it took for her to get there. He assures her she chose her outfit well. He thinks it's cute she's wearing it inside out. Lucia feels very embarrassed and admits she's a mess. They decide to enjoy the wine, and Sergio admits he likes her. She gets awkward and compliments his choice of the restaurant. Sergio is an executive chef at the Indigo restaurant. He admits he got a good deal because he works for the Jalisco Resort. He is impressed that Lucia is an architect because he can't even draw a line. She assures him she is worse in the kitchen, so they high-five and hold hands. He asks more about her and shows her the kitchen. He loves to play with fire in the kitchen, but Lucia prefers air. He makes her taste something that reminds him of fire. She claims air at a certain height smells like freedom. Sergio is afraid of heights, and she jokes about how all her ex-boyfriends used to feel the same way initially. They all ran away because she's very busy. Sergio is interested, so he makes it clear that he is ready to overcome his fear of heights for her. He has been working with the restaurant for longer than he planned. He wants to own his restaurant one day, but feels a little restricted by the financial issues. But the investors are sending him some hints, and he hopes for the best. Lucia loves that he's so passionate about what he does. She asks him to choose between salty and sweet, which is as tough as choosing between hot or cold for her. When the topic comes to the beach, they both agree the Pacific is the best. He wants to take her there because he feels impulsive with her. He kisses her, but Lucia warns him that she can't commit to anything. Sergio understands because the restaurant is his priority. They both agree long-distance relationships don't work, but they kiss again because she thinks they can still have some fun. Sergio wakes up alone to a note and breakfast from Lucia. She finds Pia and her brother-in-law, Mario, trying to make their baby sleep. Pia jokes about Lucia's daughter, Leo, sleeping terribly because her mother dared to abandon her for 12 hours. Lucia looks good and happy, but she knows they're both sleep-deprived. Mario is rocking an empty cradle with a baby in his hand. Pia asks for details about her date with Sergio and wants to live through her. She can tell something great happened last night. Lucia goes to wake Leonara up for school. She had the same dream again about a kitten kissing her awake for Christmas. It was a gift from Santa, and there was snow everywhere. Leo tries to get out of going to school with excuses, but Lucia is persistent. Leo still refuses to go till Lucia puts something on. Reluctantly, Lucia dresses up her car like a reindeer. Leo sings on the way to school, and Lucia asks her to be on her best behavior when she drops her off. Lucia gets excited and starts jumping right outside school when she gets a message from Sergio. He has rescheduled his flight because he apparently wanted to return her sweater before Leo's Christmas pageant. Lucia informs Pia that she'll be on time, but Sergio claims she will be late and offers to reschedule his flight again. He has already done it 4 times, and Lucia is eager to be at the pageant. Sergio offers to go with her, but Lucia can't commit to anything because they're in different cities. He understands that she needs to prioritize her daughter, but he is eager to meet Leo. Lucia promises that if their relationship is still going strong in a year, she will get him the VIP seats to her daughter's Mexican grade school pageant. Leo steals hearts with her rap at the pageant. Lucia records her to send it to Leo. From that point, they keep exchanging photos and videos during work. Lucia is proud of Sergio's professional achievements and even sends him photos of her and Leo. 1 year has passed, and Christmas is in a week. Lucia asks to see Leo's list for Santa, which starts with a skateboard. She also wants to meet the true Santa and watch real snow like in the movies. She also writes a message so that her mom will be with her forever. At the rehearsal for the Christmas pageant, everyone asks if Leo is rapping again this year as Rudolph. Leo doesn't think that was rapping, and she has decided to be the spirit of Christmas. She feels the pageant is the 3rd most important day of the year after Christmas and Christmas Eve. Lucia comes to pick her up and buys 2 tickets for her and Pia. When Lucia tucks Leo in bed, she feels she doesn't like her new bed. Lucia asks her to not be afraid of change and be brave. Besides, she thinks her room is scary and the walls make weird noises. Leo wants to hear a story about herself. This one starts 7 years ago when Lucia asked Santa for the coolest daughter in the world. She claims it was a wish made from her heart because she didn't know at that point that she wanted to be a mother. She claimed to be distracted with a man and looked into Santa's eyes when she was with him. She claims it was a Christmas miracle that 9 months later, Leo was born. When Leo is asleep, Lucia gets a message from Sergio asking her to come to the balcony. He's standing under her house with food because he left a chef in charge to come see her. Lucia asks him to be quiet because Leo is sleeping, but Sergio Sergio has 2 weeks off, and he doesn't want to keep hiding from her daughter anymore. He has given her a year like she asked, and wants some recognition. Leo finds them kissing and screams. She thinks Sergio is a thief, and doesn't believe he can be Lucia's friend. Lucia admits that he's her boyfriend, but Leo starts crying. She wants to control the situation, so she claims Sergio is Santa Claus. Leo thinks he's too boring and ugly to be Santa, so Lucia claims that's his disguise. Sergio plays along in the moment, but wants Lucia to tell Leo the truth later. He wants her daughter to be fine with Lucia having a human boyfriend. He stops to taste something and immediately calls Pepe at the restaurant. She reminds Sergio that he's on break, but she knows his work is his life. She thinks they work so well because they always keep their worlds separate. Sergio knows all that can be changed, but Lucia doesn't want to risk breaking Leo's heart. Pia also thinks Lucia shouldn't lie to Leo about her boyfriend being Santa. She thinks Leo already has enough lies. With her thinking, she's a Christmas miracle. Lucia thinks being a single mom is hard, which is exactly why Pia feels Leo should know the world doesn't revolve around her mom. They try to find Pia's kids, Nico and Emilio. In the crowd, the kids from Leo's pageant all brag about the family members they have invited. They wonder why Leo's dad never shows up. They ask if she has a different family with 2 dads or 2 moms. Leo claims she only has her mom and her boyfriend, who is also Santa. They all make fun of her for thinking that. When the curtains open, Leo is in a mess and screams for her mom. Lucia consoles her in the toilet as Leo rants about her friends calling her a liar. They think Santa doesn't exist, which makes Leo feel very sad. Lucia wants to do anything to help Leo at this point. Leo thinks if she can go on vacation to the North Pole with Santa, her friends will finally believe her. Lucia agrees to let Sergio finally meet Leo, but under some conditions. She wants him to pretend to be Santa as they go to a fake North Pole. She thinks his resort is the perfect place. It seems to be full of the Christmas spirit from the pictures. Sergio has come away from his resort for a reason. He thinks she's taking it too far with the lies. Lucia agrees, but she thinks it'll be a great chance for Leo and Sergio to get to know each other better. Sergio agrees to do it only because he is in love with her. She starts preparing him and takes him to a tailor. She makes an outfit for him and makes him drink a lot of beer so he gets a belly. She wants his beard and hair all white and instructs the hairdresser. She finally introduces him as Santa to Leo when he's ready. Leo is finally convinced by his look, but they panic when she asks about his reindeer. Lucia and Sergio claim they ran away after an argument. Sergio describes how angry Rudolph got and his nose lit up. Leo starts crying when she realizes they're gone forever. When she sits in the car, Lucia gives Sergio another chance to run away from all the madness, but Sergio is glad to be there and watches as Leo and Lucia sing along to their favorite song. Lucia asks Leo to close her eyes as they cross the gates to the North Pole. Leo seems confused because the place doesn't look like North Pole. There's no snow, so Sergio blames it on global warming. She points to Santa's cabin, where they only serve a specific dish, but Leo thinks anything can happen in Santa's cabin, so Lucia asks them to wait while she checks it out. Lucia approaches the woman at the reception of the cabin. She requests her to greet her boyfriend as Santa when he comes. She explains everything about what she has told her daughter. The woman refuses to encourage fraud, so Lucia offers to pay her. Sergio tries to get to know Leo and asks if she likes school. She thinks Santa should already know children hate school and mouths something to him. When he can't understand, she's angry that he doesn't have telepathic powers. He tries to explain that it's not easy, but Leo gets angry and throws juice on him. The receptionist pretends to be happy to see Santa, but Sergio knows this is not going well. She also recognizes him as the chef at Indigo, because of which they have less business. They get a table, but Leo and Lucia don't like that he's always on the phone. Sergio claims children all over the world are sending letters, and he needs to read them. He tries to send back the gingerbread cookies for being too sugary, but Lucia points out they're for Leo. He also rejects the coffee, which doesn't have almond milk. When Leo looks at him with a lot of suspicion, he claims Santa is lactose intolerant. The mayor instructs her assistant, Carlitos, about what she wants as part of the decorations for the town. Lucia wants to speak to Santa separately and asks Sergio to at least make an effort. Sergio assures her Leo will have a great time and kisses her. Leo freaks out when she notices this and starts running away. Lucia and Sergio try to chase her, but she eventually bumps into the mayor. She scolds her assistant, Carlitos, for shouting at Leo. She picks Leo up when Lucia and Sergio also catch up with her. The mayor seems to have a crush on Sergio and blushes when she sees him. Sergio apologizes for the inconvenience and leaves with Leo and Lucia. They all drive in silence, and Lucia has a strategy to put Leo to bed. Leo is secretly awake because she thinks they need to leave. She seems sure Sergio is not Santa, and this place is not the North Pole. She thinks Sergio has fooled even her mom and asks her not to kiss him or any other man. She is almost sure Sergio is the Grinch trying to break them apart. Lucia doesn't know how to fix this, but Sergio thinks she should just come clean with the truth. He knows she will find out eventually and thought this was a bad idea from the beginning, but Lucia thinks it's too soon and he didn't even try to convince her. But as the situation stands, she decides to tell Leo the truth in the morning. Sergio heads out for a beer at Indigo, and the bartender can tell he's having a tough time. It's been the best year of his life, and he is finally in love. His friend is glad Sergio finally let someone in. After being so popular with all the ladies, they've been working together for years, so he knows Lucia must be someone special. Sergio admits he's trying to impress her daughter by pretending to be Santa, but he knows he didn't make enough effort and broke her little heart. He feels Lucia was right about their relationship going steady with the distance and pace, but he wanted to push it and go one step further and ruined everything. He's scared around Leo because he knows how important she is to Lucia, but his friend knows he will know what to do in his heart. Sergio admits he has never felt true love like this, and being with Lucia feels like umami. He explains that according to the Japanese, umami is the fifth flavor discovered after a long time. It is the essence of deliciousness. He knows he can do anything for Lucia and for them to be together. His friend jokes about turning the entire town into North Pole and realizes that's not a bad idea. He asks all the employees there to help Sergio. They all wake the mayor up at night, who is more than happy to help Sergio. Lucia wakes Leo up in the morning and wants to talk about Santa, but Leo hears some noise and gets excited about Santa coming towards them with his elves. Sergio and his friend claim Leo has passed the test. The North Pole is protected by magical powers, so everyone can't come in, but Santa has told them Leo is as magical as her mother. He gifts a voucher for a spa day to Lucia and has arranged for a visit to the real North Pole for Leo. She's even convinced that a decorated horse is Rudolph, and he came back. Sergio takes them on a ride in the carriage and telepathically sends Leo a message. Leo understands that she's supposed to close her eyes before they get into the North Pole. When they enter the town this time, it's filled with cheer and people welcoming Santa to the North Pole. Sergio claims he did all this with magic and help from a lot of people. Leo believes this is the true North Pole, and they do all kinds of activities together. Lucia knows Sergio is scared of heights, but Leo encourages him to glide across the rope. She thinks Santa loves flying, so it'll be easy for him. Sergio brings Leo to the best part of the North Pole, or the famous cookie house. Santa remembers she once wanted to put one on her balcony. He claims he couldn't do it because cookies don't survive outside in Mexico. Leo tries to eat part of the stairs, but Lucia and Sergio claim she can't eat it. They explain that cookies are 1,000 years old and need to be preserved as a Christmas heritage. As they move ahead, Leo still pockets a cardboard cookie. She loves the place where Santa takes pictures with all the children. She wants Sergio to know she is his biggest fan and thanks him for being the best. She wanted to meet him because she was apparently born because of him. Lucia has told her she's a Christmas miracle, and Leo asks her to thank Santa for making her dream come true. Leo hugs Sergio and asks why he doesn't have kids. He claims he's very busy with his job since he loves what he does. He never had a typical family like a dad and a mom, so he wasn't sure about having kids. Leo knows even she has a different kind of family, but she's happy with it. Sergio admits to her that he doesn't have kids because he never truly fell in love until he met her mother. Leo still tries to make him change his mind about kids, especially if they're cool like her. When Sergio and Lucia are alone, she is very impressed by how the people of the town help them. Sergio wants to know more about what Leo mentioned in the cookie house. Lucia remembers that when Leo was around 3 years old, they were at a Christmas dinner. She kept staring at a girl with her dad and wanted to know who her dad was. Lucia told her that all families don't have to have a mom and a dad. She claimed it was special that they just had the two of them. She couldn't tell her she didn't remember her father's name, so she explained that Leo was the greatest gift for her. Leo then started believing that Santa had sent her to Lucia. It was easy for her to play along and pretend that she was a Christmas miracle. Her mom had just passed away that time, and Leo used to make her promise every night that she would never leave her alone. Sergio knows it must be hard to raise her daughter herself, but he's sure that everything Lucia does for Leo comes from her unconditional love for her. He knows Leo will grow up feeling assured that Lucia will always be by her side. Leo is trying to eat the cookie she stole on her bed, but notices the sign under it. She thinks it's a box and not a cookie, but she doesn't complain when she notices how happy Lucia looks with Sergio. Lucia wakes up to find Leo baking something with Sergio. He is ignoring all messages from work and having fun with her. Sergio is excited for Leo to have Christmas adventures, but she wants to do normal family things with them. While playing rummy, Sergio seems confused and keeps passing his turn. Lucia doesn't believe that he doesn't have anything from all the cards he picked up. He claims it's a strategy, but Leo points out that he has a lot of wild cards he can use. Sergio admits he doesn't know how to play this game. He doesn't know any other games like charades and Uno too. He was an only child with no cousins. This is the first time he feels part of a family. Lucia and Leo hug him and promise to teach him more games. Sergio makes Leo roast her marshmallow for a long time till it's of the perfect texture. He places it in the tortilla, and she thinks it's the best disgusting dish she has had. He claims he learned to make these in a past life before he was Santa. Leo wants to hear this story, even if it doesn't involve the North Pole or being Santa. Leo asks if dating Santa has been hard for Lucia. She claims it was only hard till she told Leo because she was scared. She knows Leo wants both of them to be a team. But now, Leo doesn't mind being a team of 3 with Sergio. She even wonders if Santa will consider leaving the North Pole to come home with them. Leo wants this not because he's Santa, but because he makes Lucia laugh. Leo dresses up in a cape to look like Santa. Sergio gets a call, so he asks Leo to go ahead. He promises to send details to the man and wants to talk about this in person on Monday. He's excited because the investors finally want to open a restaurant with him. He needs to leave right away for the city. He thinks the investors want to open it in Ensenada, but he doesn't think it matters because he's finally getting what he wanted. He asks if it's fine if she flies back to the city the next day and promises to meet her there. Lucia is having a breakdown and asks Pia to call her back urgently. The woman from the cabin sits next to her and they both realize they hate Christmas. They decide to go for drinks to forget about it. Lucia is regretting this relationship, but the woman asks why this is so important to her. Lucia doesn't want Leo to get close to someone like Sergio, who suddenly disappears from their lives. Leo waits before the Christmas lighting and hears everyone cheering for Santa. Sergio comes to her and claims he would never miss this. It's clear that Lucia is being pessimistic, but she claims she's hoping for the best, but stays prepared for the worst. The bartender thinks she needs to live her life a lot more. The mayor asks Santa, who everyone loves, to light up the tree. Santa takes the switch, but hands it over to Leo so she can light it up. Everyone does a countdown for the lights, and it feels magical when the tree is lit up, but a drunk Lucia trips over the lights and causes a power outage. Sergio helps her puke, and she's surprised he hasn't left yet. Sergio knows he couldn't have sold Christmas without Santa, but he still needs to leave the next morning. Lucia feels the need to protect Leo from him because he can hurt her a lot. She thinks it's hard to be a single mom, and Leo will always be her priority. Sergio understands all this, but Lucia feels selfish to let him get closer to her. Sergio asks her to understand it's not selfish to be happy. She thinks Sergio is being selfish because he's ruining Christmas for Leo by running away. Sergio doesn't think it's his fault Lucia has made Leo believe she's a Christmas miracle. Lucia decides to not lie anymore, but Leo has already heard all this and runs away. She refuses to let Lucia in her tent and feels like she's only a child her father didn't want to be with. Lucia tries to explain that she didn't do any of this to hurt her, but Leo just wants to go home to get away from all this. As Lucia packs her bag, Sergio reminds her they need to talk about this. Lucia still thinks he doesn't understand how hard it is for Leo to lose her trust in her mom and the miracle she believed in. Sergio feels she is overreacting. This makes Lucia think he doesn't understand how big of a deal this is. She realizes this relationship was a mistake and breaks up with him. She thinks it should be good for him now that he gets to celebrate his dream job. Sergio finally understands what the problem is. He knows that while trying to convince Leo of miracles, she herself stopped believing in magic. Before they leave in the morning, Sergio gives Leo a snowflake. He thinks it's as unique and special as her. He wants to thank her for letting him get to know her. Leo doesn't talk to Lucia all throughout their journey. She even refuses to answer any questions once they're back. She thinks Lucia is afraid of the truth. She doesn't think it's fair that she teaches her not to lie when she does it herself. Lucia asks for her forgiveness. She doesn't know when her daughter suddenly became more of an adult. Leo dresses up well for the Christmas party, but Lucia is in tears and blames it on her allergies. But she thinks it'll be fine when she puts makeup on. All her aunts remind Lucia of Chepina, who is also a single mom like her. They think Chepina can help her get into the same support group as her. Leo approaches Pia and informs her about Lucia crying constantly. They leave the party to be at Sergio's restaurant. Leo convinces the receptionist to hand him a note. Mario is scared of Lucia but doesn't want to reveal where Pia and Leo are. She hears some commotion and checks it to find Pia and Leo are back. Sergio apologizes for interrupting the party and addresses Lucia. He reminds her of the time they discussed what they were scared of. He thought he was afraid of heights the most, but after meeting Leo and getting to know her, he is also afraid of 3 broken hearts. He hands her the note, which has Leo's letter to Santa. Leo claims her wishes have changed, and she now wants to see her mom happy. She asks Sergio as Santa to be with her mom and her as part of their family. Lucia tears up, so Sergio claims she can take her time to reply to this, but Lucia stops him and asks him to stay with her for the rest of her life. He makes her very happy, and she knows Leo's favorite gift is a happy mom. Sergio kisses her, and it starts snowing. Leo thinks it's real snow, but Santa's helpers are just throwing cheese on them. Leo finally knows him as Sergio and is glad to have him in their lives. The aunties also ask Chepina to forget about the support group because Lucia doesn't need it anymore.